I have 3 short sponsor messages before we get into today's show. First, if you have a great domain name and nothing to show when people visit, you're missing out on potential advertising revenue, leads, and partnership opportunities. Nichewebsites.com can build you a site quickly with a price option to suit any need. But as their tagline says, they don't just build websites, they build businesses. Second, if you're buying or selling a domain name or a portfolio and you want an estimate of its value, Estimate.com is the place to go. Just like you'd visit Zillow.com to get an estimate of a house value, Estimate.com provides key information about the most important statistics so you can make an informed decision based on data. Finally, DNX.com is a domain name exchange that uses a reverse auction platform to provide fair market prices for quality domain names that are manually filtered by an experienced broker. At DNX.com, domain prices drop until someone decides the price is right. But don't wait too long or the domain you love might be purchased by someone else. All 3 sponsors have a clickable banner in the upper right-hand corner of DomainSherpa.com. Here's your program. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Seiger, publisher of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is the show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics. We have 3 sections in the review: an investor-submitted domain name portfolio to discuss and value, a marketplace list from namejet.com, and we're going to wrap it up with our Name That Price game. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 3 past Sherpas and thought leaders. In order from left to right, we have Adam Dicker, CEO of dnforum.com and nichewebsites.com, the company that'll help you build, rank, and update your business website. Andrew Rosener, CEO of domain name brokerage MediaOptions.com and partner of the reverse auction domain name marketplace DNX.com. And Paige Howe, founder and president of joedomains.com and domaineoutlet.com, where there's always special deals to be had. Sherpas, welcome to today's show.
Well, thanks, Michael.
And I'm glad you can make it, Drew. As Adam just showed us right before the pre-show, it's great to have you. We just found out that you had food poisoning for the past 12 hours, and hopefully you can make it through the taping of this show.
Yeah, I think I'm in the clear now. The worst is behind me.
All right, well, you're probably hungry, but that's a good sign. All right, we're going to jump right into the first section of the show. In the domain portfolio review, we take a user-submitted domain name portfolio and provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners. If you're watching this show on YouTube, click in the link in the description to look at the list of domain names discussed on today's show. What a lot of people like to do is review the list, write their own comments and pricing next to it, and then listen to this section of the show and compare their thoughts and valuations versus the Sherpas. Give it a shot today. Today's portfolio was submitted by Edwin Hayward. Part of Edwin's submission, he made a generous donation to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center to help us all find a cure for cancer. As Adam just mentioned to me just before the show, he lost a dear friend to cancer just today. Terrible disease, affects pretty much everybody in the world. And thanks, Edwin, for making a donation to help find a cure. Edwin's list of 25 domain names starts with airportparking.co.nz. Or NZ, as us Americans say, and ends with zombielike.com. Adam, let's start with you on Edwin's list. What do you like on the list, and what retail price would you set on those domains if you own them?
Well, first of all, I'm kind of surprised you went with Z first, but I appreciate that. So airportparking.co.nz, good CPC, still not crazy about though, because it's really hard to monetize. It is taken in many other extensions, but that doesn't mean it's great. There's a lot of other ones that aren't. So it's not bad. I mean, I guess you could build out a site if you had an airport parking lot or something like that, or you ran a shuttle bus or something like that. Cabletelevision.tv, a little redundant to me because you've got television in .tv. Mm-hmm. So not keen on that one. Executive gifts. I like that a lot. It's probably my favorite on the list as we go through. Good CPC, good traffic, good search results. I like that the best, and not because that's about put it the highest, but because a lot of people like to buy executive gifts, and not necessarily just for executives, but they like to think as themselves as executives in their personal life. So I like that one. That one is one of the ones that I could price. I would price that one probably at 10 plus for sure. 10 plus for sure. It's a really good name. If you build a site on it, it goes up to 20 plus. Expert authority, again, a little redundant. Not keen on that one. Expert and authority are basically the same thing. Free directory, done many sites with directories. Paid ones don't make money. Free ones are going to be even worse. So not into that. I'm sure the other guys are going to like Jet Aircraft. I mean, I think it's good for a brandable company involved in jet aircrafts. And then I'm going to skip all the way down to Revisit. Good name, good traffic, good CPC. Not sure what I would do with it, though. I mean, it could be a traveling site, but how do you know if somebody's already been there or not? So I don't know about that one. Searchengine.co.uk. Good name. Small searches, surprisingly enough, for searchengine.co.uk, but good CPC at over $4. Secret Pass. Now, I'm not really sure you're going to get many people that are going to want to post on Secret Pass if it's a secret, but good luck to you. Smarter Search. Interesting name. Smart Search would be even better because of smartphones, but Smarter Search isn't bad. It's a brandable. Top 10 Tools, also a good domain name. I mean, it could be top 10 tools, and it could be lots of subdomains. It could be SEO top 10 tools. It could be domain top 10 tools. It could be all kinds of stuff. So that one it's got very little traffic. It's got no CPC on it, no advertisers, but it still has potential to be built out as a good developed site. So out of this one, I'm clearly sticking with Executive Gifts. It's a good brandable. It's kind of like the site that's out there now, like Gadgets.com or Cool Gadgets. So I think it's a good site, and it's already got branding in it. A little bit of marketing could be a great site.
Hey, Adam, what would you, you mentioned Revisit. You're not sure what exactly it would be, but it's a word sort of with the re on it. What would you price it at if you owned it?
It's a tough one. If I owned it, I'm looking at there's no advertisers. That's the problem. So there's no advertisers, a really low CPC, some search volume. I mean, I'd still probably price it at around 20. But I mean, if I could figure out what to do with it, I would do a lot more with it. It's one of those that there's too many other great names out there for me to try to figure out what to do with it. And I know I could go to Drew and buy better names for that 20K that I could actually build out.
So you'd price it at 20K, and you'd probably take less than 20K?
Well, me personally, no, because I can afford to sit on it, but most people would.
And what about searchengine.co.uk? I don't even know what's on searchengine.com.
I mean, I don't know. It depends. Hopefully, he picked up the searchengine.uk when it was just released because he was entitled to it, and hopefully did again one advertiser for a search engine term. I mean, I'd probably do a marketing, social networking marketing platform on it and help to promote it. Again, it's a brandable, and I can see that going for 10 for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a brandable name, but as a park page, it's a tenth of its value.
Yeah. All right, Paige, let's jump to you. What do you like on the list, and at what price would you list it at?
Well, I think a lot of the same ones that Adam likes. I thought, especially compared to last week's list, that Edwin's got some 2-word names here, much better than 3 words. And even though he does have something Adam mentions, which is he has duplicate or names that build on themselves as opposed to contributing to themselves, a lot of them are really strong 2-word names. So I would put in that category Executive Gifts. My second from the top, you have this idea of gifts for your boss. You've got a little bit of, shopping at the office, ideas, have them sent. Just really thought it's a solid name, a solid mobile, e-commerce name. You can do mobile, social, local. Anyway, just probably, my best on the list. Revisit it was interesting you guys talked about that one because it's a nice short word that you can say once and everyone knows what it means, and then you get back to what do you do with it? Do you talk about like in-depth news, revisiting a topic? Do you take the RE and make it real estate? Do you make it some type of social travel? If I owned it, much like Adam said, ask high and let someone fall in love with it, and then if you were going to buy it, hope that everyone else stayed away from it too. So great name, short name. Much rather already have owned it than have to go out and buy it. Same number 3 was Smarter Search. Just thought it would, go to smartersearch.com. You might brand your company something else, but in terms of the call to action, go to Smarter Search. Some of the ones I didn't like, maybe I'll go the other direction. Expert Authority, good name. I mean, definitely worth keeping and listing for sale, but just not compelling the way that wins. Computer-aided design, yeah, CAD is a great term, but boy, we all like to type CAD faster, but still, computer-aided design would be a good, domain name to own and hold and wait for someone to buy. Clean room installation, really a small market, but for that market, a great name. If I owned it, I got it on a drop or a free reg, great. If I had to go buy it, I'm not sure it would really have the wow factor for me to buy it. Same with jet aircraft. Boy, huge market. Oh my gosh, $1 billion, $1 million, $100 million market. But would that marketplace really use a domain name to differentiate itself, or is it going to be more about the jet aircraft that they actually build? You're not necessarily going to go to a social network to buy a jet aircraft. So great name, would keep it, no doubt about it. But in terms of having that punch to get above 10,000, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Mirror Tiles was a good pure product name. And UK Ventures I kind of liked. Don't know if I'd pay more than maybe $300 or $400 for it, but if I owned it, I would ask around $10K because I don't know if there is a UK Ventures out there, but it just sounds really cool.
Yeah. What would you price computeraideddesign.com at?
I would still probably put a big number on it, like 25,000, with the idea that it does define a number of multi-billion-dollar companies. Mm-hmm. But at the same point, I'd be hoping. I would love to get an offer from an email address that said, some big computer company, VP of strategic development for SAP or something like that.
Yeah.
Would be terrific.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point that it is long and people refer to it as CAD. Nobody says computer-aided design anymore. I picked up conversionrateoptimization.com about a year or two ago. Did I buy that through you, Drew? I can't remember.
Not through me.
And, it's a heck of a long search phrase, just like computer-aided design. People refer to it as conversion or CRO for the acronym. And but somebody came along and bought it for low, mid 5 figures, and I think I bought it for low 4 figures. So
remember, it's only long if they're typing it in the browser. It's not long if they have to click on it.
Yeah. So there's still some prestige with it.
Yeah. So you'd price that one at computer-aided design at $25K. What would you price Expert Authority? I didn't think much of it. You said I wouldn't drop it. I don't love it. But what would you price it at?
Like $7,500.
Uh-huh. And what about clean room installation? There's a high dollar amount installation, but probably not a lot of search volume.
Yeah, I'd price it like at $12,500. Mm-hmm. Just because you're hoping you get someone who does that. And I got to believe one clean room installation is just the contractor fee on one installation. If it's a $500,000 installation, the overage, the overhead fee is $50,000. So
yeah.
So a solid list, good list, smart apps, well thought out, not a lot of obvious detriments. And depending on obviously on what he paid, a strong person sitting back, waiting for offers to come to him. Good list.
Cool. All right, Drew. You get the last word. What do you agree with and what do you disagree with on the list?
Yeah, I think we've covered, most of the stuff that I really like. I have a little bit to add here. So by far, my favorite one, like Adam, is the executivegifts.com.
Yeah.
We owned professionalgifts.com, and I brokered that name to Harry and David, who are they're a big, very big company in the gourmet gifts and gift baskets and executive gifts market. Maybe the biggest.
They're enormous. I just bought a gift for a person through Harry and David.
Yeah, so I brokered Professional Gifts to them. That was a name we owned, and we got, I believe, $10,000 for that. And Executive Gifts is like 10x the name that Professional Gifts is. So, if I remember correctly, when I was doing some research, I think Executive Gifts is the defining term for the space. So, it's not as big as gift baskets. It's not as big as some other terms. But for the professional executive gift market, that is the term. So I think this is one of those cases where Estebat's pretty spot on. Estebat's got it at 56, and I think that's just about right. I think it's probably a 50, 60 grand name.
So that's not the asking price. You think that that's a valid retail price for that domain name?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably go out at 75,000 on that, hoping to sell it somewhere around 50. And I think it's worth all of that. I think that for sure that's worth 50 grand.
Cool.
I'd be very confident selling that at 50 grand. And if Edwin would like to sell that name, by all means, please contact me, because I still have the contact at Harry and David, and I'd be more than happy to reach out and try and broker that to them.
All right. Andrew at MediaOptions.com.
Andrew at MediaOptions.com.
All right. What else do you like on the list?
I like airport parking. It is a co.nz, and it's probably I don't know how many airports there are, but nonetheless, it is a big category, and it is an essential service and a commonly used service. I know Oversea.net operates airportparking.com. I don't know if that was part of the deal that they sold to Rook or not. I think they held back all their sort of developed and operated names.
Right, I believe they did too.
And I know that they make good money on that site. So I think that that's probably a real solid name, probably a good one for development.
What would you price it at? How do you determine the price of a .co.nz?
Frankly, I've never sold a CONZ, so I really don't know. But, I mean, I don't know. I'd say 1%, 2% of the .com, something like that. I don't.
All right, and for Edwin, if you're watching this show, I actually had Raj Berry from Oversea.net on the show talking about the build-out of airport parking, so it might be interesting to go watch that show as well.
Yep. Let's see. Electricbike.co.uk is also a nice little name. I had a client in that market that hired us to acquire a couple of domains, and the names that we ended up acquiring for him, I mean, he was in the German market, not in the UK market, but the names that we ended up acquiring for him were turned out to be very expensive, and they were very similar. So I think that name has got some legs for sure. I would be pricing that at, if I had an end user inquiry, I'd be pricing it 25, 35,000, maybe even as high as 50. UK is a big market. But, if you were going to proactively sell it, then it would be, a multiple less. You're probably looking at more like 10 grand max if you want to go out banging on doors. I like freedirectory.com. I mean, the directory model has been all but killed by Google.
What do you like Free Directory for? Why do you say that you like that domain?
Well, there's a lot of companies in the directory space, and I think freedirectory.com could be a good umbrella brand. It could also be, if you look at it from a different angle, which is the software side, and freedirectory.com could be a great name for, companies that are selling WordPress themes for directories. I don't know. It's just freedirectory.com. It sounds good. It looks good. It's a nice little brand. You're not going to sell it for 50 grand, but you might get 5 or 10 for it.
Yeah.
That was it. There's some other names in here. Like they said, this is a solid list. There's nothing on here really. Jobs in Tokyo, I don't like. Just, Tokyo Jobs is the name there. Cabletelevision.tv, it's redundant, Cable.tv would be a great name. Cabletelevision.tv, not so much. The estate agents with the hyphen, not a bad name. But, we own a phenomenal portfolio of hyphen domains, and I can tell you that I don't know, in the last 5 years I probably sold 2. So I'm not real bullish on those. I think there's a bunch of good names in here. Very few that I would drop other than cabletelevision.tv.
So you drop cabletelevision.tv. Would you maybe?
I guess I wouldn't drop it.
You wouldn't drop it because you.
To anybody give me $100 for it, I'd probably sell it. I just.
Well, let me ask Adam and Paige also, is there any domain on here, if you own this entire portfolio and they are all coming due for renewal and you were manually determining if you wanted to renew them or not, is there any domain on here that you would drop?
I would drop expert authority because I don't know what it is. I would rather have authority in something or expert in something. And then, what else would I drop? I guess that's the only thing I'd drop.
Okay.
The rest of, I'm not big on zombie-like. Maybe I'd drop that one.
Zombie-like, yeah. So is it fair to say that this is a...
Zombie-like is a hot name. You've got all these people that are... The new drug craze is these bath salts, and it turns people into zombies.
What?
So...
Well, not real zombies.
I don't know. I was just reading an article. There's some manufacturer in China that's making some kind of product. They call it bath salt. I don't know if that's actually the intended use, but people are like snorting it, smoking it, putting it directly under their skin.
That's been out
and it makes
for a
them
while.
into like it's like I don't know if you heard about like the people that have been like there's been like all these cannibal attacks and.
I have not heard of any of that. What do you? And they're all, like snorting this bath salt and then going out and killing people.
It makes them into zombies. It makes them into zombies.
Maybe that's a Panamanian thing.
No, this was like in Miami a few months ago. They found some dude like everybody was naked and he was on top of this other woman or man just eating him and.
All right.
Yeah,
hey, speaking of Panama, I'm almost done watching Prison Break, which was on Fox TV station like years ago, and there's 4 seasons. Good show, but it takes place a lot in Panama, and I don't think I'm going to visit Panama now. Those prisons are like crazy.
I've heard bad things about you don't want to go to jail in Panama.
Hey, Paige, anything on this list, if you owned it, that you would definitely drop on renewal? You sound great, Paige, but you're muted. Can you unmute for me, buddy? Thanks.
The only one I couldn't get a handle on was my star sign. I don't know that market to know if that's really what people call it. Cable television, I would try to upgrade. I mean, if you spend a week looking at the 2-word combos that are dropping in TV, I think you could find one that you'd rather hold for 5 years than that one. So I think it's the idea of maybe upgrading on the bottom, kind of like when you're playing gin, discard a card off the bottom and try to add a card that's a better position. Mm-hmm. Everyone else I couldn't figure out the Kobe.org. I guess it's a city, and there's a meat. You got the meat,
Bryant.
And then you got
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. You got Kobe States.
Kobe Beef, yeah. On page.
So I guess, and then the airport parking co-NZ, I think they allowed second-level NZs last year, so I don't know if he's got the right to him or if he didn't opt in to get the right to him, or whether it just hasn't caught on and people still go for the triple level. But in general, no, I'd be keeping most of these, yeah.
Okay. And I didn't hear any of you say, like, oh, you better watch that one. That's a trademark. It looks like a pretty clean portfolio, right? Nothing stands out?
Pretty clean.
Nice. All right, so all in all, Edward...
I wouldn't put pictures of Kobe Bryant on Kobe.org, so.
Yeah. So all in all, pretty clean portfolio, and I would say, according to everybody's valuations, a relatively strong portfolio, depending on what he purchased them for, obviously.
Yeah.
But definitely for him to spend, $200 a year to probably has something else he does for a living, to sit there and wait and have some really nice sales possibly happen.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the right track, and I think the spot to be.
Yeah. All right. And Edwin didn't ask any questions when he submitted the portfolio, so I'm going to ask one for him. Based on your development projects in the past, you 3 Sherpas, if you had to pick one domain name on this list to develop out, what do you think is the strongest business opportunity or easiest to populate and run, or whatever criteria you have for development? What one domain name would you pick? Let's start with you, Adam.
Well, I think Drew and I are going to be in agreement on this. Executive Gifts by far. I mean, it's a complete business in itself, and it validates the whole portfolio 10 or 20 times over.
Yeah.
Great. Drew, you'd go with the same?
I say the same thing, yeah, 100%.
I'd go with Revisit because I think it needs the help. I think Executive Gifts can still sell itself as a pure domain. I think Revisit needs the help more. So
he said run a business. What would you want to run a business on that would make money?
Yeah, what would you run? What business model can you see clearly?
I'd probably go social travel reviews where would you revisit, or let's look at this again, and just try to juice it, try to introduce the term so that it does become a word that people think, oh my gosh, that's revisit, and then it's got the shoulders to carry itself as revisit, go to revisit. I've been to revisit. This page how from revisit.com. We like to tell you about what we're doing. So, but I think it needs the vision. Whereas Executive Gifts, no doubt, great name, but I think there's some huge companies that could make that one work that I'd want to sell the name alone off. So I might put my effort into.
When most people travel, they want to go somewhere new. They don't really want to revisit.
I hit Hawaii every year. I love Hawaii. All right. We hope that was helpful for you, Edwin. Moving right along. We're going to move into the marketplace list. This section is sponsored by NameJet, and we're going to be reviewing 20 domain names heading to auction soon. If you like one of the names below, click through soon, because once they go to auction, you can't be a part of the action. The links below are just directory links, direction links. They're not commissionable links. The list starts with myfuncard.com. No jokes, Sherpas. And it ends with a bunch of .global domain names. Let's start with you this time, Paige. What do you like on the NameJet list and why?
I like usaid.com. Haven't totally figured out what I do with it, but it's easy. You got the whole YOU said or you said, but just the idea that it's social. Could you raise funding on it? Probably. Could you come up with some type of great site where you get 5 million visitors and none of them have $1, but that's okay because you got 5 million visitors and they all go to usaid.com, and then usaid becomes the next something or other that somebody buys. So I thought that was my favorite name on the list. Back to reality, maybe Oklahoma Health Insurance and online payday advance, a little closer to a vision that's clearly established by the name. And then X trademark, X with an I in between the N and the X, and with the X are both trademarked. And then Call Cash, there's a cash call that's trademarked, so there's a lot of people using Call Cash, so you could probably just say you're just like them, and those would be the ones I'd stay away from. So those are my big three.
What?
And the other, global.
I'm sorry, Paige.
Global, I just think none of these make sense. Invest.global is the only one because instead of focusing on the keyword, they focused on how it sounds with .global, as opposed to just, isn't that an awesome name to the left of the dot? Therefore, it makes the whole thing awesome. And I just feel like if this is the best they have, these are like the best one words in the world, and I wouldn't even go on those, then, and then it doesn't come out till August or September. So I'm not sure why you build the excitement now when the sunrise goes through August. So it's kind of like you're going to have to reintroduce and grab the headlines in September. So I wouldn't be a bidder on the globals.
Maybe they looked at what else was coming out at that time and they thought they wanted to, get the auction going now. Who knows? Let me ask you about usaid.com. Does it not concern you that it could be YOU said and people are going to be confused on just the letter U said?
But I'm still going to buy what I have and make what I have worth the most money. I mean, I'm not going to focus on what could possibly go wrong. So, yeah, there's 2 parts of that, and there's maybe 8 parts of the guy that has you said wishes that he had the one with the U because it's shorter and easier for mobile. So if you had to pay another, say you paid $2,000 for this one and you had to pay another $2,000 for the YOU and you had other people's money, yeah, obviously do it. But sure. I would just go forward with this one.
All right. And you think $2,000 is
Adam's a daily visitor on YouPorn, and I don't know how often he gets confused with the YOU or just the U. Maybe he can speak on that.
Who's a daily visitor? I thought you said you were.
Adam.
Yellow card.
And the fists come off. The gloves come off.
Yellow card on Rosener right there. Okay.
I thought it was Andrew said he's a frequent visitor.
I thought Andrew said he was a frequenter also.
Andrew, how long you been married?
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, when you hit 20, you'll be a frequent visitor too.
I think like a USAA card, like the
20-year anniversary, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, 20 years last week, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, your wife
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
question you
fine.
when you hit 20
Yellow
years.
card for Andrew.
It's been a good 20 years, too. I'm not complaining.
All right. What else was it? Now I can't even remember what my questions were for you, Paige. All right. So you would pay $2,000 for you porn. It comes off my mind. YouSaid.com. You think that's a fair price?
I would think more about it. I'd hope I could get it for less.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Hey, Drew, let's go to you. What do you like on the list and why?
I was a little limited today, I gotta say, which is crazy because there's so many great names on NameJet. I think our friends over at NameJet need to step up their curation tactics here.
All right, we're gonna have to call Scott out.
But look, partes.com is a Spanish word for parts, like car parts or used parts, whatever. That's a solid name. I actually used to own that name.
Really?
I sold it, I think, last year. I don't even know who I sold it to.
Do you remember how much you sold
Yeah,
it
it's
for?
funny. I bought that name. I bought partes.com on NameJet probably 5 years ago, and I sold it last year to somebody, and it looks like somebody's reselling it now on NameJet.
But do you remember how much you sold it for?
I don't. Offhand, I don't remember. But I remember I paid quite a bit for it, and I think it's a really solid name. I mean, parts.com in English, is arguably a seven-figure name. For sure, it's a mid to high six-figure name without question, and probably is a seven-figure name. So partes.com, in my opinion, is it's certainly a five-figure name. Beyond that, I liked yousaid.com. I don't know that I'd pay $2,000 for it, but it is a real nice brand. I like pictures.xyz because, I think .xyz sort of, in my eyes, is the attraction there is for the sort of young generation, whatever. So pictures is a keyword in my eyes. It fits with that. I'm with Paige. The .global, I think there are words that would work with .global. I mean, there's certainly a lot of companies that are called, whatever global, right? So there's a lot of keywords that work there. I just don't really see it with these particular keywords. I think, again, invest.global is the only one that really makes sense in my eyes. And then beyond that, I don't know. There's really nothing on here that jumped out at me.
Okay. Fair enough. Adam, what do you think about the list? Any differing opinion than the other two Sherpas?
Well, I'd say so. I think the whole list pretty much stinks. I like partes because it is parts, and I did know the Spanish translation, but Drew beat me to it. So I think that's the best one on the list.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on in the States with health insurance, so I wouldn't want to put too much into health insurance names. And online payday advance is pretty good, but it's you have to apply for it. That's probably a decent name too. And then IDBM is a typo of IBM, I'm pretty sure, and that's why it's got so much traffic.
How do you tell how much traffic it has?
Well, the search results. I mean, it's got a decent amount of search results.
Oh, okay.
The appraised value at 67,000 is ridiculous. IDB. It could be a type of Internet Movie Database as well.
IMDb. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a type.
That's what it is. That's why it's got all the traffic.
And that's why it sort of sounded familiar to me, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
You guys, that's my turn, right?
IMDb. That's exactly what it is.
What did you
It's
say,
my
Adam?
turn. You had your chance. Drew, you had your chance, buddy. No,
sorry.
after that porn one, go back to YouTube or whatever you porn artists. IDBM. No, it's a typo. It's got good traffic. It's not a bad name, but obviously you target movies, you're in trouble. So that one's okay, but I'll stick with Parte, or as Drew wanted us to pronounce it in Spanish, at the proper way. I think it's the best name on the list, and I agree on that one.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I don't care about XYZ, I don't care about global, and I don't care what you said. I don't like you said. Not interested.
So what would you pay for partes.com on NameJet?
Nothing really, because I don't think it's specific enough. You'd have to build subdomains out, and you'd have to do car.parts and all the other ones. So, I mean, it's a good name. because it's got subdomain potential, but it's not a brand that I would be interested in.
Not one you'd be interested. Gotcha.
No.
What about USAid.com? That one was listed with a 70,000 Esterbot value. I haven't done a search on USAid. I guess it sounds like a big organization or something.
I turned USAid into USAID. I turned USAid into USAID.
Sorry. I was looking at my notes. I didn't even realize it was the same. USAID and USAid.
Because we give out billions of aid, but we never seem to get any from anybody. So
That's funny.
It could also be USAID. So it's good for people that are looking for counterfeit IDs on USAID.
Totally funny. Like, I'm looking at the same things, and I totally didn't see it. So I typed in USAID or USAID. I typed in USAID into Google, and USAID.gov is the United States Agency for International Development.
There you go. That probably devalues the name.
Well, but is the government going to sue you, and is it going to turn into like a healthcare.gov.com issue where you get a whole bunch of traffic and...
Not if you build a social network on it called USAID.
Very true. All right.
Go back to it. Can I just make a mention of something? So Adam brought up subdomains regarding partes.com. And I actually read something about 5 minutes before we started this show. One of the guys from Famous 4 Media posted on LinkedIn mentioning something that I observed myself yesterday watching the World Cup games, is that McDonald's, they own one of the big banners on the side of the field. Mm-hmm. And on the banner, the only thing they had was a domain name, and it was goal.mcd.com. So it was a subdomain. And I don't remember ever seeing a major corporation doing a big promotion like that of a subdomain. And so it does bring to light. So the Famous Four guys were arguing in the article he posted that, this is the start of the changing way that we do online navigation and interpret domain names. And, that may be true. I don't think that it insinuates that people are going to just forget about .com. But I do think that it's interesting that they would use a subdomain. And whether or not that trend is yet to be seen.
Yeah, I agree.
They seem to think they seem to have gravitated toward the slash in the last 10 years, and it's only been recently maybe that they realized they could do it with a double dot, as opposed to being mcd.com/goal, and then someone figured out that no one likes the slash, and so I like but it seemed to me like it would work against the new TLDs, and that a company would rather add a dot to their existing .com than they would to go get, goal something. But I think you can always see something in many different lights. But
I agree with you though. I think that's what I interpreted out of it, is that it works against the GTLDs.
But what does this really have to do with for domainers? How does that apply to what we're talking about? That the parts is good because it does subdomains?
Yeah, that it lends itself to subdomains, exactly.
Now, is dot the same in English and Spanish, or would it be like car, autos, dates, partes, or something?
No, punto.
There you go.
Punto. Not like puta. Punto.
Hey, before we move on from the name jet list, since Scott put these .globals on because they're going to auction soon, I didn't quite get the .global, so I went to the .global.info, and it states there, quote, .global makes a definitive positioning statement signaling your multinational business operations. A strong and important message for organizations of all sizes who aim to transact on a global platform. .global is the new top-level domain that positions you internationally, end quote. But I thought .com positioned you internationally. You just made the point that McDonald's is using McD's.com. Like, that is the international.
Well, they have to have a tagline. They can't come out and say .global, not really global, go with com. So they have to have a tagline.
.global. We have no purpose, but register us anyways.
I can't see
and to show you that we're credible, we're going to build out our registry site on a .info. Because that's going to show that we really understand corporate America and where corporates are spending money right now and where they've spent money for years. And so you can get a .info, but now, even though you can get everything you want in info, you should go with global.
Well, they had to pick a domain name.
To see them with .info, yeah.
But they're not live yet, and they had to pick a domain name.
Right. So they probably said, "Oh, we can't pick .com because .com. Then we'll be endorsing .com, and then we can't tell people that global's better." And it's like they think because they say it that it's real. They say it, but it doesn't mean it's real. They got to be able to do better with .global. There's got to be a better marketing plan than that.
Yeah. So would any of you, if there was no reserve on any of these .global domains, banking.global, invest.global, IPO.global, steel.global, would you put in a bid on them?
And I put on invest the wholesale price, $69.
You wouldn't take them for reg fee.
I mean, invest.global, I take it a reg fee.
Nope, not interested.
Huh.
Too many other good ones you can get for a reg fee.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Here we go, Sherpas. We're entering the lightning round. Today we're playing Name That Price. Reigning champion, Adam Dicker. As I recall, Sherpas, it was almost a shutout last week. Drew, Paige, you got any comments about the shutout? Almost?
I don't recall it that way.
I got my paper ready.
All right, here we go. Here's how the game works. I named 3 domain names that sold within the past 12 months. I have verified that there are end users, at least to the best of my knowledge. You write down a price that you think it sold for to that end user. No looking up the search volume, past sales, or anything like that. Closest answer wins. Number 1, we're going to go international for our first domain name. All right? The domain is used.com.au. Used, as in the opposite of new. Used.com.au. What do you think it sold for? All right, Drew, hold it a little bit down. Down, down, down. You're going up. Down, 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 down. Okay, I'm going to go with Paige. 25,000. 3,700 for Drew. And Adam's going with 5,000. And the correct answer is $10,942. Adam is the closest. It's sold on netfleet.com.au, which is billed as Australia's .1 domain trading platform. I thought I'd heard of Netfleet, but I don't know. I visited the site and didn't look like...
I think 90% of all the .com.au sales happen through Netflix.
They do. All right. So use.com, it looks like they're based in Melbourne, and it's a company called Quick Sales, Australia's best local marketplace where you can browse, buy, and sell just about anything. It sort of looks like a eBay.com, but for Australia.
Oh, they're a client of ours. They're a client of ours. Quicksales.com.au is a client of ours.
Yeah.
We helped them to acquire quicksales.com, actually.
Gotcha. And it looks like they're either wrapping the used.com in there. It looks like a year ago acquisition that they haven't quite decided if they want to use the Quick Sales or the used name yet. I like used.
Yeah. Those guys, they're doing serious things. They're making a lot of money.
Yeah. So, Paige, you went for the highest amount on this. Why'd you think it was worth $25,000?
I just thought what used.com would be worth, and for Australia, it's the com.au is the com for them. So it's only a 50 trillion. I mean, it's a big market, social interaction, reselling. I mean,
yeah.
eBay has been pretty successful. So, yeah, I'm sure they're happy to get it for that.
Yeah, so walk us through your thought process. How much did you think used.com was worth?
I don't know.
7 figures.
$2 million.
$2 million. So then 25,000 is...
But I think this illustrates where we are in domain names. We haven't got to domain's ultimate values. I think 25,000 is still a lot in Australia. So maybe cars.com.au is $1.5 million down there. So, you work backward, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't be worth there. But I just felt like that was probably where it went, because they have a lot of 5-figure .com.au sales.
Yeah. Okay. And then, Drew, you gave it the lowest price of the bunch. Why'd you think it was only worth $3,700?
Honestly, because the bulk of the .com.au sales that I see come through the sales reports, just tend to be in that sort of mid four-figure, high four-figure range. And like Paige said, there are a good number of five-figure sales, but I think the vast majority are still in that four-figure range.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Next up, we've got a singledictionaryword.com. The word is illustrious. ILLUSTRIOUS. If you don't know what it means, which, hey, I had to look it up. It means well-known, respected, and admired for past achievements. Illustrious.com.
Right here, baby. Right here, baby.
Illustrious.com. What do you think it's sold for? Write down your answer. All right, Adam's going for $5,000 again. Paige is going for $25,000 again. And Drew is going for $8,000 with a little kicker, $3 extra. And the correct answer is $2,163 via Cedo. Bam! Adam again. He's on his way to a shutout.
Bam! I didn't get it last week. I'll get it this week. I'll teach them, boys. That's
All right.
illustrious.
Illustrious looks like it is a lifestyle living for the affluent.
How could you guys think that most people would even know how to spell illustrious?
So, right, isn't this one of the domains that we see often in the domain name industry? People bill it as, hey, it's a dictionary word, it's a single word, it's a premium. All those things are true, but it's hard to spell. There are 10 other single dictionary words that are better at describing this, that are shorter. And let's start with you, Adam. You said $5,000. How do you put a price on a domain name? How do you evaluate a domain name like this that doesn't seem to be like a top premium, but is a premium because it's worth more than Reg fee?
My thought process is it's a pretty shitty word. It's a tough word to spell. It's not going to have that many buyers, so I figured it would be a low-priced name based on that. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we're talking about it had to sell for something, so I figured $5,000 would be safe, and luckily Drew decided to go over the $3,700 this time and give me the win. That's a shitty word. I mean, what do you do with it? Illustrious. Right. Isn't it a finish or something? Like illustrious finish? I don't know.
Drew, if somebody came to you with illustrious to sell, would you even broker it?
Oh, come on, Seiger. Come on, Seiger.
I tell them that we would run it in our newsletter for probably $1,000.
Well, it wouldn't work hard on it.
Come on, you guys. You're smoking dope.
Paige would pay $25,000 for it.
All right, Paige. What would you buy illustrious.com for today?
$300 and I'd sell it for $25,000.
Right. But seriously, we can't say that, what we really want is one word. What we really want is dictionary words. Oh, I can't believe you have this. And then there's a oneword.com name, and then it becomes, that's crappy too.
No, you know what? Look, we just sold 5 oneword.com names on NameJet, right? We put them in at no reserve. It was things. Now, granted, these are not great one words, but probably better than illustrious. But it was things like illegible.com and nerve.com. I just fairly useless one-word.coms. And they all sold for $750 to $1,200. And I think they're better than illustrious.com. So, I don't know. I think it's a pretty useless name.
Right. So when we started this whole thing, we talked about end-user sales. So I think there's a huge difference between someone saying, hey, I want to get rid of this stuff and raise some cash, and someone that owns illustrious.com. I mean, we've seen people hold on to names for 5 years waiting for six-figure offers on names that don't even have an estimate of anything. So what I'm assuming, though, is normally the owner of illustrious.com is not going to just sell it to try to get some money back to go out and have dinner tonight. You know Correct. What I mean? But they're going to be attached to it. They're going to sit there. And that there's not going to be a transaction until you get up to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,000. So that's the reason I put that number on it.
You're
Wasn't
looking at
because
this
I
all
wasn't
wrong,
assuming that it was someone blowing it out. Now, if this was part of those web.com names that sold last year, that big bunch of oneword.coms, and someone's just getting their money back from paying wholesale, well, that's a different story. But, I assume we were talking a retail sale.
Page, numbers don't lie. The domain stinks.
We were
I love
talking
it.
retail.
I'll take it for $2,100.
I think
Whoever
it's
bought
fair.
it, sell it to me.
To Paige's point, I think it's fair to put a $10,000 or $15,000 price tag on a single word domain
Not
name.
this one. No, not this one. I don't agree with
You'd put. Now I got to look back on the earlier ones. You'd put a $20,000 price tag on revisit.com, but not on
because
Illustrious.
I figured Paige would buy it and develop it out.
Yeah, because I've developed so many.
No, I don't see
Revisit.com could be a great social bookmarking site.
Which one?
Like a site that you like that you want to revisit later. It'd be a great bookmarking site.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with Illustrious.
No, you certainly can't.
All right, here we go.
Some
We're
words
going to the
that are
last
great
domain.
words, but they don't make good sites or domains.
We're going to the last domain, and we're going to see if Adam shuts you guys out. Drew, Paige, you ready? All right, here we go. Last up, drop.us. Drop.us. That's right, we're going CCTLD on you boys. What did it sell for? Write down your answer. All right, Drew's going with 1103. Paige is going with, I can't see it, Paige.
$69.
6. Paige is going with a drop price on NameJet, and Adam was going for $5,000. And the correct answer is $1,999. There is no shutout today. Drew gets at least one W.
Ever.
So
only won
background-
one round. Relax. Not illustrious or anything.
Man, I hear that word all the time.
Now you will.
It was purchased by Dropcast.us, which is an app for both iOS and Android that allows you to share and discover stories about where you are, wherever you go. I don't know, it sounds like Facebook, but they have apps in both stores, and they're using a .us, and it looks like they shortened to just drop from Dropcast.us. Seems like a good purchase, Drop.us for $2,000, doesn't it?
No, not really. US stinks. Sorry. Nobody's ever grasped it. It's never got anything. I just let a whole bunch of them drop one-worders because they just suck.
Is that a political or?
No, I like the country, hate the domain extension.
I agree with Adam.
Drew, you ever
I
sold me
would rather have it
.us's?
done LA.
Wow.
Ouch.
I think.
Did you say you liked US better than LA? Adam?
I would say
I'd rather have an
US
LA
than
than a US.
Oh, I like that. That's good. He was supporting you. Hey, Drew,
Yeah.
have you ever sold a .us?
No.
No.
I think maybe one like years ago.
Oh.
I think we own one .us. I think I own reggae.us.
I don't think I own any .us.
I'm going right now, baby.
Paige is looking it up.
No, I got my name.
Paige, you got Page.us?
No.
Page how
It'll come to you guys.
Oh, page.us would be great. Page us. That'd be great. At least that one's good.
That is
back
good.
in the 90s.
Oh, it's taken! Okay, taken or available. You ready?
Ready.
Illust.us. Illustri.us. The hack of illustrious.com.
Don't
is
forget,
taken.
if
Of
you
course
really
it
want to go
is.
crazy, Paige, you can go to Libya and get illustrious.ly and get illustriously and make it even longer.
Illustrio.us is taken. What kind of marketplace are we in?
Well, go check the rest of that guy's portfolio and you'll see where he is.
All right. Here we go,
I thought
Sherpas.
I had one there.
Yeah.
You forgot to announce who won.
Adam Dicker takes the crown again.
I lied, actually. We have bamboo.us, dive.us, reggae.us, mylife.us, and seascallops.us.
Sea scallops. You cannot let go of your fishmonger days.
No.
Even though you've never gotten an inquiry on seascallops.us.
We have never, and I'd be willing to bet here and now $500 that we will never receive an inquiry on seascallops.us.
Put a price on it right now. First person to email you, you're going to sell seascallops.com.
First person to email me can have seascallops.us for $49.99.
$49.99. Andrew at MediaOptions.com.
How bad it is. I let spyware.us and a bunch of other ones drop because it's horrible.
Oh, spyware.us.
I let better ones than that drop, and I don't miss them.
All right. All right. Well, Drew, you just promoted what you wanted, right? Anybody that contacts you, $49.99 via email, you will sell seascallops.us and get that out of your portfolio.
And if they contact me today, I'll actually give them 50% discount.
And he'll throw in seascallops.com.
Some sea scallops?
And a pound of sea scallops.
I'll throw in mylife.us as well as an added bonus.
Don't expect the phone to ring off the hook.
I bet he'll sell it. I bet Drew will sell it on Thursday. Or no, this is going to air on Monday. So I bet Drew will sell it.
Hey, did you have sea scallops at the bar on Saturday?
I want to take a bet. I'm going to hedge this. So who wants to take a bet that I don't sell this?
No, I think you're going to sell it. I think somebody's going to pick it up for $50. Plus, you're throwing in mylife.us. Come on, it's a no-brainer.
You're going to hold that?
Doesn't matter.
Look at Paige. Paige is thinking. Paige is like, you know what? I want this.
Paige is going to buy it from you. Oh, $5. He buys it for you before Monday. It's gonna rattle around in his head.
I'll take that bet. Send me your $5, Mike.
Right.
I will take that bet.
Adam, anything you want to promote?
No, not really. I mean, it's been an interesting week, and we'll see how it progresses. But I think the industry is doing well as a whole, and I'm looking forward to growing with it. And all the new service and stuff that's coming out should be a good year.
Yeah, definitely. Drew, anything else you want to promote?
Well, I'm happy to say that freegames.com, which we promoted last week, has now been sold.
Congrats.
Unfortunately, I cannot release the details, but it has been sold, and so now I will promote that we are brokering 50.com, 50.com.
Like 50 cent?
I think we're going to get 50 out of the club and onto .com.
So freegames.com, that's a massive search volume. We talked about it on the show. Did you sell it for more than $50,000?
Yeah, we sold it for a lot more than $50,000.
Did you sell it for more than $150,000?
Sorry?
Did you sell it for more than $150,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just keep going up and up and finally get a number out of you?
Last week we said that the highest offer was currently $750,000, and that wasn't enough. You can infer.
Nice.
I think he sold it to rebrand under freegames.xyz.
Which I noticed that he bought.
Did he? Did you pick up freegames.xyz?
No comment.
Because I went to buy it.
And it was taken. Oh, but it's listed for $3,999 right now. You can just pick it up.
$10 or whatever.
If anybody wants to email me before Monday, they'll also get 50% discount on that domain.
What? Well, this show comes out Monday, so they won't be able to email you before then. 50%
Okay, well,
off freegames.xyz. All right.
What?
All right.
All right, Paige Howe, anything you want to promote?
Come on down to the outlet, and we got some new stuff coming next week, but we're a week away. So, and Tony Gwynn got my jersey today. Rest in peace, Tony. We loved you. You're a great guy. So,
Agree with that.
Definitely. All right, if you receive benefit from today's show, from hearing how the Sherpas think about the domain names, please post a comment below and thank today's Sherpas. You can also click the button to tweet it or post it onto Facebook and say thanks to these gentlemen. Thanks to Edwin for submitting his portfolio and for making a generous donation to help find a cure for cancer. Thanks to NameJet for submitting their portfolio for review. And thanks again to our Domain Sherpas for sharing their experience and insights. Adam, before we sign off?
If they include illustrious in their comments, we'll actually reply to them personally.
All right.
In fact, I decided to make that my new nickname. If Ludicrous can be ludicrous, then I can be illustrious.
So you want them to actually work the word illustrious into their comment?
Sure, that'd be cool. Then we can actually see if they actually just commented or actually watched the video.
Okay. All right. Thanks, gentlemen. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.